So today I'm going to do a concept sports video. I did a similar one with the AAF talking about how to bring better talent and why these leagues fail, ultimately fail at least. And how if the NFL Player Association really plays hardball in 2021, how this could affect the XFL and possibly push the XFL past the NFL if the NFL owners aren't careful. We're going to get into that next.
OTR.
So right now, before I get into how this all ties in with the XFL, or possibly ties in with the XFL, let's talk about the CBA, what it is. We're going to talk about the NFL Players Association, the NFL owners, what the NFL Players Association wants. So the CBA, simple terms, is you have the NFL Players Association, which is a union. The CBA is the agreement between the NFL and them so we can have football. That's a simple layman's terms, what it is. Obviously, it's a little bit more complicated than that, but we're not looking to get into the legality of part of it. What do the NFL players want? Well, they want to get rid of the fifth-year option. They want to get rid of the franchise tag so they can get paid sooner after their rookie contracts and make the money, the guaranteed money that a lot of these guys have been making. So, owners don't drag these guys along and say, hey, you're no longer a benefit to the team after we've dragged you out for 6-7 years. Good luck in free agency. On top of that, obviously they want player safety sort of stuff, probably less practices, better health insurance, all that other BS. I know the NFL owners want 18-game season. The NFLPA says, hell no. The NFLPA also wants more money. Right now they're making about 47%. They split revenue between the NFLPA and the NFL. They're not getting to 50%. At no point they are. That's 47% is too much in my mind. That number is not going to go up at all. I don't even believe that's negotiable. I could be wrong. Maybe they give them a percentage point. Maybe they let them go to 48. But right now, I don't think that's going any higher. So if you guys didn't know, the CBA is up at the end of the 2020 season. Obviously, the season bleeds over into the 2021 year. And at the end of the 2021, I think right before the draft or right around the draft, the 2021 collective bargaining agreement is up. I believe so. It's something like that. It's right around that time frame. So last time in 2011, we saw how this really did affect. It bled over into almost summer. And, not until training camp did they came to an agreement. But at that time, everybody knew the owners had the leverage, and there wasn't much the NFLPA was going to do. I mean, they got a lot of stuff for them, but not as much as they could have. This time around, they are going to have more leverage, and that leverage is the XFL. Because what has always been the biggest problem with the XFL or any of these upstart leagues, the AAF, is the fact they don't have the talent on the field to put out a good product, and people get bored very quickly. We saw that with the AAF. We saw that with the first iteration of the XFL. And let's face it, I'm not saying the players are going to strike, but the leverage is there for them to strike. And not all these players can afford, like an Russell Wilson, like an Aaron Rodgers, like a Tom Brady, guys making upwards of $20 million to sit there and say, I've got all this extra money. I can sit out just as long as the owners sit out. They can't do that. And you have the John Howell Peels, the Paul Perkins of the world. Sorry, I'm using a lot of under Giants players. The Spencer Pulleys of the world. Guys that have families, need to pay their bills, houses. They can't sit out forever. Well, there's going to be an option at the time to go to the XFL. And the NFLPA can use that as leverage and say, hey, either you guys come to the table and say, give us what we want, or a majority of our demands, in a fair manner, or our guys are going to start going to the XFL. You don't think the NFL owners would be worried about that? Because for the first time in a long time, we are going to have a product at that juncture. If everything I'm saying happens the way it's going to happen. And my whole point could be moot if they come to an agreement before 2021. But if you look at some of the articles that come out on this, on other different sites, it doesn't look good. I believe they will go on strike, maybe for a couple weeks, and maybe they'll strike a deal. But I believe it's going to go up to that 2021 juncture. I really do. Do I believe that it's going to go throughout the whole season? No. But we've seen strike shortened seasons before. I believe it's 1982 or 1983. It happened then. It could happen now. But before then, there really wasn't another option for these guys to go play somewhere else. So they had to come to the bargaining table. They had to give in to the NFL owners' demands. This time around, they have the option of the XFL. Now, I don't know all the legality issues with it and what's going to happen, but I do know this much. Even though it may sound crazy to you guys, when Nikolai Tesla was coming up with all his concepts with electricity, people thought he was crazy until things became reality. This is just something I see that could possibly happen. I wanted to point it out to you guys. What are your comments? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think, hey, Jeff, you make a little bit of sense here? Let me know in the comment section below. Either way, it's been OGR, and go Big Blue.